What's up, y'all? Today we are breaking down a sports poster that I used AI to help me make, and it was a game week poster for a blackout. So I wanted it to be dark, wanted it to be sick with the Lions. So let's go. First of all, I'm going to flash through all this like easy stuff. I've done this a million times on videos if you want to check it out, but I just cut people out. Then I go and make the Lions through AI prompts and then cut them out. So we just got to get all of our initial subjects to use, and then comes the fun part. So first we just want to align them the way we want. I wanted them to be like behind the player and in the background, and then really most of what's happening the rest of the time is just shading and lighting everything so that it looks correct in the video. So we're going to add in some text right here. Protect this house. I think this might have been their first home game, I'm not sure. So wanted to emphasize that. And then basically we just started shading in the lower parts of all of the subjects. So we have the cutout and the two lions in the background, and what I was pretty much doing was using black brushes to shade the bottom of them and then erasing like the top, so it just looks like the top is light and the bottom is dark, and like the whole sort of room they're in is like a really dark place. So it kind of just looks like a whole dark room, but then there's like some lighting that's like hitting just the tops of them, and that's what you're seeing. And then I decided to add it in some motion blur on the lion statues. I liked how they were lion statues, but I also wanted to kind of like make them almost look like realistic or like they're moving. So I just put a little bit of blur on both of them, just on the moving parts. You don't want to put blur on things that aren't moving, but also, you know, if you want something to be clear, probably don't put any blur on it, like the faces and whatnot. So then I just added in the different text. I used a very low opacity on the blackout text so that you could kind of read it, but it also like emphasizes it's a blackout, so it's like very dark font, or very dark text. So I used two different lighting techniques on the cutout. Basically gave him like a rim background lighting and then a little bit of shading on the inside of his body using a different like curves thing on the inner shadow. And then we decided to put the two logos in like these black squares so that like the edges of the logos are cut off. I think it's just like a nice way to put logos into a graphic sometimes. And then I decided to put the protect this house text on front, or in the front, and then sort of like fade out pieces of that based on the background image. And then I decided to add some glow in to really make the lion's eyes pop. So the yellow or gold is like their color, and I wanted to really like emphasize the lines in the background, so I decided to give them, you know, those gold glowing eyes to make them even cooler, make them stand out even more, especially just because it's like a dark graphic, so anything that has that lighting is going to contrast. The only thing I didn't show you was adding in the rocks in the front, and that was pretty easy. I just added in these two boulder things and then just put a little bit of blur on them and darkened them up, make the whole effect of like the room they were in or the place they were in even cooler. So that's basically it. This graphic will be on Patreon if you want to check it out and use the stuff that I used in it.